I'm on my phone and looking at a website, for example, and I get that little bar at the bottom that says this website uses cookies, accept or yes or no.
Yep.
So if I either hit yes or I close out of that box, then it's tracked on my phone.
If you hit yes, correct.
Okay. What if I hit no? What happens?
Then the cookies, they're not installed because you're not given permission for them to be loaded up to your phone, not installed, loaded to your phone.
So in order for me to look at the website, for example, though, I'd have to hit yes.
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
No.
So this is something that, as an investigator in this field, you're able to use to help understand the location of the device?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and tell me how that works, though.
Well, like I said, one of the main things that we use is what's called location services. Location services is what tracks where your phone is within either an Apple or an Android phone. Google stores that data, again, because it sells that data to Burger King or McDonald's, wherever the heck you might want to, whatever you're interested in, and it keeps track of where you have been, where you like to go, to use that information in the future.
Okay. So I want to talk about, specific to this case, I want to talk about some of the evidence that you reviewed in this case. First of all, were cell phones seized in the course of this investigation?
Yes, there was.
Okay. And you were the individual, you and members of your team had the opportunity to review those cell phones?
That's correct.
Okay. What about information from social media outlets?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Now, regarding the cell phones, I'm going to summarize this, and I want you to tell me if this is accurate, okay? So, source of electronic information from the shooter, an Android phone, a T-Mobile phone, last four digits, 1551.
Correct. Yep.
That's right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A Facebook account?
Correct.
And an Instagram account?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, regarding Jennifer Crumbley, there were 3 cell phone seized, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So we have 2 from T-Mobile with the same identical phone number. Is that right? Okay. A TCL A509DL we refer to as a burner phone. What does that mean?
A burner phone is what we refer to. It's a phone that you can go to Walmart in the electronics section where they sell their TVs or any CVS or Rite Aid and just buy it in a packaging and activate it. The SIM card's in there, and there's really no account that's needed to get it up and going. You just activate the phone by putting money towards the account within it.
Okay. A Facebook account, jehn.crumbly.7, and includes the messenger functions. What do you mean by that?
So Facebook Messenger and Facebook, separates 2 separate platforms. But you can search warrant Facebook for messenger information, or you just search warrant for messenger information.
Okay. And then we have certain emails account from Gmail and Yahoo.
Correct.
All right. And then Instagram account JEHNC78.
Correct.
Okay. So regarding James Crumbley, again, 3 phones were seized, 2 of which were T-Mobile phones with the same phone number, and the third being the TCL A509DL burner phone.
Correct.
Okay. 1 Instagram account, James R. Crumbley. 1 Facebook account, which included the messenger function, James R. Crumbley, and Yahoo, Gmail, Charter Communications email accounts.
Correct.
Okay. And then DoorDash search warrant for James Crumbley. So was the search warrant issued to DoorDash?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And was information received?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So we spoke about that very briefly early. A search warrant is when a judge or magistrate authorizes a document to a social media provider or a company, for example, and information is returned.
Correct.
Okay. And so what happens when you get that return?
Sometimes it's in an easy format. It's just a simple Excel spreadsheet. Other times it's multiple Excel spreadsheets that you have to compare different parts of that 2 spreadsheets to come up with the information.
Okay. Now, your role normally would be to talk about cell phones, computers, cell towers, things like that.
Correct.
Okay. So, with your permission, I'd like to talk to you about November the 30th, 2021. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Okay. You were working for the sheriff's office?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And you were computer crimes?
Yes, I was.
Were you working that day?
Yes.
12:50, 12:51 in the afternoon on November the 30th. Do you remember where you were?
He's probably driving pretty fast.
Okay. And tell me why.
We got news from our captain that there was a shooting at the Oxford High School. Prior to that, our sergeant, who was off that day, reached out, texted one of the guys in the office, and said there was a shooting at the high school, and nobody believed it. Like, we believed it, but we're like, it's just somebody nearby at a house, you know, fired off a rifle or something, and the police are going to go do their job. And then a couple minutes go by, and the captain comes in and he said there's been a shooting at the high school, and he said all hands on deck.
Okay. What did you take that to mean?
There's a shooting, like it was.
All hands on deck. You're not normally somebody who responds to active shooter situations, right?
No, it's for the nerds. No. For the captain to come to the computer crimes office, it was all due respect to the guys in there and the gals in there. That's not their job to deal with that. The fact that he came in there it was a really big deal.
Okay. And you mentioned you were driving pretty fast. Tell me about that. I remember getting out to my car. At the time, I had a white minivan that had lights and siren in it. No one ever took it seriously when you turned the lights and siren on. But I remember pulling out of the parking lot, and I looked to my left, and there's, it didn't seem real. It didn't seem like this. Like I'm thinking in my head like this was just blown out of proportion because I didn't have my radio on in the car. I couldn't hear the radio traffic at the time, and I looked to my left, and there's two patrol cars, not even from our agency, not even from the sheriff's office, coming around the far corner on this complex by the medical examiner's office and the animal control. And they turned that corner on two wheels on each side, coming around that corner. Their lights were shining. They were going fast. And I'm like, holy cow, this is real. So then I turned my lights on because I just thought we'd get there and do what computer crimes does, you know? We would do our thing. And I turned my lights on and siren, and I started going north towards Walton. Telegraph runs up to Walton and it cuts over to US 24. Telegraph cuts up to Walton and it goes over to M24. And I had no idea where the heck I was going. I've been. I thought, well, I remember thinking when I get there, I'll just follow the crowd because it's going to be big. And going north on 24, and I see one of our SWAT vehicles going across the bridge from 75 down to 24, and the light was red for me, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to slow down, like there's cars coming down the ramp. And I remember getting closer and closer thinking, how come nobody's going? Like my light's red, this cross traffic should be going, like, because as a police officer, obviously, when you run a red light, it's extremely dangerous. You don't do it haphazardly. And I'm approaching this light thinking, I'm gonna have to slow down. And as I get to the light, I look over and there's a patrol car just sitting. I don't know what agency they work for. And so I go through that intersection, and then I see them join up behind me, and then I see two other patrol cars from another agency coming up behind me. I remember, I don't know if it was Brown Road or what the next major crossroad up the hill there. I remember that light was red and there were cars stopped in both lanes, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna have to go onto the shoulder. And so I'm looking at the shoulder thinking, I mean, it's part dirt. It's a small shoulder of asphalt and dirt, and my small tires on that minivan, it's not gonna handle well, but we're not gonna stop going, right?